Our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
Dude. If we lose them.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like,
Yeah, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Will I see my children? I don't know.
The Democratic counterpart to QAnon, known as BlueAnon, is running wild with election conspiracy theories. Like its right-wing counterpart, QAnon, the far left's BlueAnon, is also rooted in denialism at all costs. Trump cheated began to trend on X after the race was called in his favor, according to Gordon Crovitz, CEO of the ratings transparency system NewsGuard. In an interview with Wired, Crovitz said there were 92,100 mentions of Trump cheated on X since midnight on November 6th, with several social media users baselessly accusing Trump of stealing votes with the help of Republicans and billionaire Elon Musk using the hashtag Trump cheated. So what kind of conspiracy theories are they pushing? Well, first was the idea that 20 million votes were missing. Dinesh D'Souza, who wrote and directed 2000 Mules, really capitalized on this theory, more so to his own advantage, tweeting, "Kamala got 60 million votes in 2024. Does anyone really believe Biden got 80 million in 2020? Where did those 20 million Democratic voters go? The truth is they never existed. I think we can put the lie about Biden's 80 million votes to rest once and for all." Now this spurred conspiratorial talk on both sides, but BlueAnon really ran wild with it. And here's the fact check. Keep in mind, this was published November 6th. While at publication time, the Associated Press's vote count was indeed 16 million votes lower than that for the 2020 election. The explanation is trivially simple. The entirety of the vote hasn't been tabulated yet. But the conspiracy theories get even crazier. One of the most insane ones is that Elon Musk's Starlink satellites were used to increase Trump's numbers. Take a look.
This was brought to my attention yesterday from a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Wheezy. He sent me a video letting me know that California and other swing states were able to use Starlink in order to tally up and to count ballot votes or voting ballots in their state. Why were they connected to the internet? There is absolutely zero reasons as to why those systems were connected to the internet. Those machines have absolutely no problem tallying up votes like they have done since the beginning of time. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to come in here and talk about, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and help you because I know, there's a lot more people voting and it's going to be difficult, this and that. There's not a lot of people that volunteer to help, blah, 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 blah. Let me help you to tally up the votes in order to be able to help you guys and make things easier for you. Oh, what a sweetheart you are.
That video has been viewed 4.5 million times.
Oh my God.
Now, according to Newsweek, an Act for Progress account, who has Biden, Harris, and Harris Walls in its X bio, attempted to back those claims by replying to the viral post with a video of podcaster Joe Rogan explaining that Musk allegedly knew that Trump would defeat Vice President Kamala Harris 4 hours before the election was called. Now, remember, Trump was screaming about election interference in the weeks leading up to and even the day of the election. But regardless, here are the actual facts regarding the voting machines. According to the Associated Press last month, voting machines are generally not connected to the internet. With a few exceptions, however, there are some jurisdictions in a few states that permit ballot scanners to transmit unofficial results using a mobile private network after voting ends on election day and after memory cards containing the vote tallies have been removed. When an internet connection is necessary, election officials typically utilize private networks to reduce the risk of malicious activity. They also take additional measures to scan their systems for potential vulnerabilities and threats. Additionally, Chip Trowbridge, the chief technology officer of Clear Ballot, a voting system manufacturer, tested and approved by the Federal Election Assistance Commission, told ABC News last month. Those systems absolutely cannot have any network. He said, in fact, if you look at the machines from Clear Ballot, the only wire that comes out of them is a power cord. He added that ballot scanners aren't capable of having any Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio, or network connection at all. So to be clear, there's no evidence that Starlink satellites were used to change the vote tallies. And I think the interesting thing for me, Cenk, Elon Musk claimed he knew the outcome of the election 4 hours before. I think a lot of us knew the outcome days before. It seemed pretty clear.
Yeah, so look, guys, I mean, there's 1,000 things here. First of all, that 20 million votes is down to 7.6 and they're still counting. And you're thinking, well, how could they possibly be counting? California is just incapable of counting votes and finishing elections. Do you know that in my election from 2020, it's only still 76% reporting? Okay, so anyway, so those numbers are totally, utterly wrong at this point. So second of all, what did we ask you guys to do when the Republicans started lying about losing the election? Oh no, we won, we won. We kept saying one word over and over: evidence. You need evidence that an election was stolen and that you won when you didn't win, etc. Right? And the Trump team had 61 cases to bring out about the evidence, and they brought 0. So now, what is BlueAnon doing? We don't need no stinking evidence. Mr. Wee said it. Okay, if Mr. Wee said it, well then it's got to be true, which sounds incredibly similar to QAnon, who was like, "What do you mean? Q said it." I can't wait for Q and Wees to get into the octagon and figure this thing out. Okay, so look, and then the final irony is that BlueAnon is using the same guy as QAnon did, which is Dinesh D'Souza. I mean, like, if you've gone to Dinesh D'Souza, you've gone too far. Okay, Nina.
Cenk, you stole my thunder because I want to know Mr. Weez, Mr. Wheezy. Yeah, definitely want to know who this person is. It's just mind blown. And when Jordan said over 4 million people have viewed this, listen, BlueAnon, if only it was that simple. If only it was that simple that we had evidence that Republicans stole the election. No, they did not steal the elections. Democrats just gave it to them. It was not a robbery. The door was unlocked, the windows were open, and the Republicans just came right on in. So there is no stealing of the elections. And as funny as this is to me, it is also sad because it does show how desperate people are in terms of trying to make some sense of what happened in this race and being unable to accept the fact that a large number of people who voted in 2020 just decided it wasn't worth it for them this time. President Trump did not really grow the electorate by much. I mean, I think 600,000 voters, that he didn't grow it by much. The overwhelming majority of that win came from the fact that about 10 million people decided we're not coming. He won on the margins, that's it. But as far as it being stolen, no. Democrats gave it away, baby. They gave it away.
So Nina makes such a great point because at the end, it looks like it's gonna come in around 7.5 million votes that the Democrats lost over the last 4 years, right? So some of that is because of COVID, the mail-in ballots were so much easier, and I get it, it's a logistical thing. But most of it is because they didn't give people enough reason to vote for them. And they don't want to come to terms with that. They want to pretend that no, we had it, and it was so. Now, but to be fair, now let's look at the difference between how Republicans and Democrats have handled this. So they both have randos online going, no, Mr. Wees and Mr. Q says this and that, right? But Trump was the leader of the Republican Party, he was their candidate, and he cried like a baby. And then he did fake electors, there was a riot, there was gallows for the vice president, etc. You see any riots after Kamala Harris lost? No. What did the Democratic Party say? We lost. What did Kamala Harris, Joe Biden say? We lost. And did they try to fight it and cause a giant disruption, destroy democracy? Did Kamala Harris say, like Donald Trump did after his loss, we should terminate the Constitution? No. They handled it like grown-ups, We have a lot of criticism of the Democratic Party if you watch the Young Turks, but this ain't one of them. They handle it like champs and professionals. Now, they're not gonna learn the right lessons politically, and we'll fight them on that. We'll fight them on that for the next 3-4 years as we head into those primaries. But for how they handled their loss, the Democratic Party didn't do anything wrong here, and they should get credit for that. And it's an important juxtaposition. You see the difference between lying and not lying. You see the difference between your leaders leading you astray and trying to destroy democracy, and your leaders accepting a loss like an adult.
Yeah, I mean, on that point, Biden has tried to de-escalate because they're seeing so many people latch onto these conspiracy theories. And he said, you can't love your country only when you win. Something I hope we can do no matter who you voted for is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. But of course, that was insufficient because these people are all in conspiracies. Here was one of the responses to that statement. President Biden, the urge to show that Democrats are above conspiracy stuff may be exactly the anticipated move you've been set up for. This could cost us the country. Do your job. Hashtag recount 2024. Hashtag Trump cheated. And I'm asking these people who believe this kind of stuff to seriously just take a second. Think, if the Republicans are stealing the election, why wouldn't they steal these Senate races in Michigan and Arizona and Wisconsin as well? You think it's just an oversight? Come on. It's just so transparent. It just makes no sense.
And the same exact thing we told the Republicans. Why would they steal that election and not steal, why would the Democrats steal 2020 but not steal 2024?
Right.
Why would they steal 2020 but then give away the House so they couldn't pass anything in 2022, right? And in this case, why would the Republicans steal the presidential election but barely win the House? Why not give yourself a comfortable margin? Why not give yourself 75% of Congress?
Yeah.
No, so even if, look guys, there's 1,000 reasons why, but in order to actually say that someone did something, you need that magic word, evidence. And Mr. Wheeze ain't it.
Noted election expert, Mr. Wheeze.
Okay. I like the Wheezy reference you had. Wheezy. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.